So, who are you?
I am Emma Park and I'm a senior copywriter.
Too cool. And what do you work on?
A bit of everything.
Yeah.
Work on mostly Moose Toys, but then I also work on ANZ, Jetstar, Holden, God, I don't know, whatever comes up, all sorts of things. Yeah.
And what's your favourite?
Moose.
Yeah?
Totally.
What makes a good copywriter?
Oh gosh, I think that a good copywriter, they don't necessarily have to be able to spell.
No?
I know the rules of grammar. I think an exceptionally good copywriter does, but I think a good copywriter needs to know the difference between technical writing and writing how people speak.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you know how someone speaks, then you can kind of put yourself in their shoes. So, because you'll get asked to write an 8-year-old girl or a 15-year-old boy, or then you have to write an old man or a conservative banker, and you have to be able to change the way you write.
So the persona, just
exactly, because you have to write as different people. So I think you need to have, I have a style that's my style of writing, but that's not the style of writing that I write in every day.
Oh,
Chops and
cool. Who do you think is more important in creative team?
Oh, no, it's equal.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
Totally.
Because you're two halves of a whole.
True, that's a good point. Do you find it sometimes hard to communicate with your art director?
With some art directors.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Just trying to get across, no, this is how the
you just have different, they just see things visually.
Yeah.
Just the way your minds work is different.
Yeah.
So you just have to find a happy medium. But I think the most important thing is finding someone that that understands the way that you communicate.
Totally.
So I can just say, I'm really direct.
Yeah.
And so I'll just be
no,
that's shit. And I can't handle it if someone takes that personally.
Oh, totally.
So, you need to, I can only work with people who give their feedback as direct as I do.
Totally, that's a good point. We try and do that at uni all the time. Always fails.
Yeah, it's really hard.
What's your biggest challenge as a copywriter?
I think when you get a new brand, you have to pick it up and you have to really understand it to be able to write as that brand. Kind of comes back to the same thing, being able to be flexible and throw yourself into different things. I think writing as a teenager is the hardest one, because it always just sounds a bit it sounds like a brand writing as a teenager, not a teenager. So I think trying to really understand your audience and write as them to them is really
that would be tricky. I'm trying to think about doing that now.
And answering all the stupid questions when people are when do I use a semicolon? When do I do this? When do I do that? I'm just Google it.
Google's your best friend.
That's all I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I know them, but...
Totally. It's just doing stuff. Yeah. Do you think opposites attract, a loud person that shoots out our ideas and a quiet person? Yeah? Or do you think it's better working as two loud people than just... No?
I always... Well, I guess it's personal. But I always work better with opposites.
Really?
Even Cam, he's total opposite to me.
Totally.
Yeah.
Too cool.
Yeah, always the opposite.
Oh. Do you compliment your partner in their deficiencies?
Yeah, well, I think, that's natural with an art director and a copywriter.
Totally.
Generally, one of you knows all the shortcuts in Photoshop. And the other one is better at spelling.
Put the apostrophe.
Yeah. Exactly. So I think you compliment each other, but you also, I think you have to have a basic understanding of the other person's skill set and what they do as well, so that you can both give each other feedback and guidance that's constructive and relevant.
What is the worst experience you've had?
What? As in when you're working with a partner?
Whether you've been working with a partner or just in the industry or...
Worst one, I don't know if it's worst, but bad ones that, when you get partnered with someone and you you can't work with them, and it sucks because it's through no fault of either of you.
Yeah.
It's just that
it's hard.
You think differently and you have a different way of working, and you're struggling to understand each other, and you both know that neither of you are doing your best work.
Yeah.
And so you often solve the problem in the end, but it's not, you know that it could have been better.
Totally.
So that sucks. That's probably the worst thing actually, is when you're putting forward something and you know that it could have been better or it should have been better. Because when you're not sold on something yourself, it's really hard to sell it.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
What's been the best experience?
The best experience, probably like, you get to work with like your best friends. Like I think all the art directors I work with always end up becoming really close friends of mine.
Yeah.
Like my first art director is my best friend, and he was like my best man at my wedding.
That's so cool.
Yeah, like I think
that's really cool.
Like actually, there is much, like I'm as much in a relationship with the art directors that I work with as I am with my husband.
Yeah, that's what they were saying. The talk that I went to of the two Clemenger guys, like they've been together for 13 years, and they were like, we literally do everything together.
Yeah.
Like you eat together, you stay in the office together, you're in a room together the whole entire time. It's like they did a graph of how much time they spend with their partners and how much time they spend with each other.
Yeah, it's so, they are like, they're your work spouse, definitely.
Totally.
And like Jason, my original art director, he not even in the industry now, but like we still like solve problems. I still like write texts for him, so cool. And we still we're still partners in that sense.
That's sweet. What should I look for in a copywriter?
I think you should recognize your weaknesses, and then try and find someone who complements them.
Totally.
But also someone who gets you, like gets the way you communicate, understands the way you approach things.
Yeah.
So that, because there'll be times where you might have an idea and you can't quite, there's something in it, but you can't quite articulate why.
Do that,
And the best art directors that I've worked with get it, and I don't need to try and articulate it, and then they will articulate it for me, or vice versa.
Yeah.
You're that type of person that's just like, you understand where each other's going.
No, that's a good point. And your words of wisdom for my quest for my other half.
Be open-minded. Don't like have a clear list of like what you want.
Yeah.
But if someone unexpectedly, like, you feel like you work really well together, but they don't meet that list, just go with it.
Totally.
Because I think the most important thing is just that you work well together, and you could envisage going and getting coffee for them, and like just not for them, with them, and just like hanging out,
and having. That's a really cool point. Awesome. All done.
Yeah.